credentials when I tried to hit record, but it looks like it's recording now, so it's on 10 seconds. So hey everybody, welcome to another session, Sunday spiritual session with your host Michael Rolla. That's this guy. So today I want to talk about the Great Awakening. It's kind of a big subject. It's interesting, I ended up making the video yesterday and everything went wrong. So I literally spent an hour talking about all this stuff, and then it didn't even record, it didn't even save or anything. I couldn't even find a video just to upload it. So hopefully, I'll remember most of that stuff. I kind of wrote notes so that I wouldn't forget anything. And then, I was trying new, I'm using Streamlabs. Thanks guys, you guys got a program that actually works. I appreciate that. I tried so many different ones just to find something that might be, a little different, user-friendly. But so anyways, hi, Michael Rolla, spiritual medium channel, life coach guide, ascension guide. That's really my focus. That's why so many of us are here. And so today I wanted to talk about the Great Awakening with Spirit. Archangel Michael's really been coming in strong. JC, it's so much energy coming through on this topic, but I am a Michael myself, and knowing Archangel Michael pretty closely, working with him my whole life, he's always about that empowerment, and I mean they all are, and that's kind of what I want to talk about too. Is the Great Awakening is the removal of the separation. I made that video, I think, where I was talking about unity consciousness before, and because that's what we're coming into, and so with this whole Great Awakening, what's really going on, and there's all these truths that are coming out, and there's going to be so many layers, there's going to be so many avenues, there's going to be so many directions to go, and so many things, but really it's a big picture that is the focus, and that's what I think we all, we kind of forget about, so going off my notes from what I was talking about yesterday. It's just one of those things where, so JC came to me and he said, what is magic to the mage? And actually the way he said it, he said, what's an epiphany until you figure it out? It's not an epiphany anymore, yeah, great genius insight, but when you're in that meditative state and you're thinking about all this stuff, and then he's like, epiphany's only an epiphany until it's not, and then you're just like, and I start cracking up. But the truth of that is, there's all this, everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. Everyone's trying to figure out who did it, where did it start, what's the right way to do it, how do we do this, how do we do that. At the end of the day, it's all about love, really. It's all about finding your way. There's so many ways to learn this, and I've said this before, I don't want people to do what I'm saying, to believe in what I'm saying. I want, everyone needs to believe, you need to believe in what you're saying. You need to believe in what you're doing and what you're here for. And anything, outside of that, anything, it's all separation game, whether you're, it's in politics, it's in, religions, it's in anything, as soon as we have a judgment or we have an opinion and then we separate it. I wanted to quote the Tao Te Ching. I can't remember the quotes entirely, but, they say the name that can be named is not the eternal name, because it's already a thing. So the more judgments, the more labels we're putting on it, we're really just adding layers of separation. We're cutting it into pieces and saying what something is, and I think I said that before, and I said, too, is how do you know how to draw a tree if you've never seen a tree before, so when we see things and we give them words and we give them labels, we give them identities, it's only based off of what we can see within it that, defines its identity. And this is how everything is created. This is why, it's about seeing the energetic vibration that's within things, and how a tree is similar, to a part of me. We're connected to the trees. We are, all of these things because it's a vibration. So this whole Great Awakening, whatever level you're at, and there's all kinds of levels, whether it's you're realizing that we've been oppressed, for so long, humanity, and whatever, we're waking up to the fact that we want a better world, so there's all this fear out there about what's happening in the world, what's going to do this, one world order, this, that, and the other. And at the end of the day, it's up to us to decide that we're here. That's why we're here. You have to value yourself and your input. The dark, I want to talk, I kind of want to address them too. It's so silly to me that they're stuck, that they keep doing what they're doing. They keep trying to oppress and manipulate and all these things. But, at the end of the day, if they're dependent upon our energy, humans' energy, then they're stuck too, and so it's really an interesting thing where, separation, they're creating their own separation. Look at how the dark is creating its own separation by separating itself from the light. It's like going out and having, fun with friends or going to a party or whatever. When everyone's having a good time, that's when it's really going on. That's when everyone's having fun. And so for all those dark beings that are out there, I just feel bad. It blows my mind how they think that they're like winning, and it's like, and they're completely dependent upon, our energy, or whatever you want to call it, that fear. That's why they keep putting the fear in the world, because if we can't take ourselves out of the fear, we're never, how are we going to go anywhere, and so that was the insight I had with them too, during the meditation was, if we're all trying to become our super highest, best self, and again, whatever level, there's the saying going on now, be your greatest self, and and you notice all of this stuff is coming up at the same time, and in same time or not, but it's getting more powerful. There's more momentum coming for the light, but if you want to be your greatest self, and that's what anyone's striving to be, the truth of you is you're a soul, right, inhabiting a body. You're a super powerful, being of the multiverses. I mean, so much more than, Harry, Larry, Jane, Joe, Schmo, it's so much more. And until we can take ourselves out of that persona, you're not going to experience, we're not going to see, everything else that's happening. It's like reading in between the lines. It's reading the energy of someone who's telling you something and knowing that they're lying or they're not, and again, it's not about, oh, he's a liar, it doesn't matter, let him says what he wants, right? This is living and let living, right? But you can discern for yourself, all right, I'm not going to go over there. There's no need to demonize. There's no need to judge. There's no need to blame, right? And most of the time people are doing it, for fear in the first place. If we lived in a world where we all allowed, each other to express ourselves and be free and be loving, and we supported each other, people wouldn't be afraid to say, oh, I totally made a mistake, or oh, I totally messed this up, or oh, I'm sorry, I was learning, I'm so sorry it hurt you. If we forgave each other, forgiveness, we have to forgive each other, otherwise it's not gonna. But like I was saying, to go back, if you want to be this fully super duper galactic self, you can't be hung up on, what happened at work yesterday, or and I say hung up because of course you experienced it, but it's how much are you going to let that define your life, right? And that's the truth, the reality. This whole awakening is the truth is coming out, and people are going to wake up to, that we've been repressed and oppressed. And I think that's a really simple, easy one to see that we can all kind of agree on, and not all of us, I guess, if you're rich, powerful, whatever. I mean, I don't want to get into the details, right? But, at the very least, people are getting fed up. People are getting, just stressed, like they're too much stress. It happens to all of us. So what happens in our lives, right? And so I kind of wanted to talk about like the starseed story, and what happens is it's all kind of that same thing, where we all come to this really heavy place. It's sort of negative, it's got a lot of energy, a lot of heavy stuff, and we want to fix it. So we do whatever we can to fix it, right, as best as we can, and no one understands why we're doing what we're doing, right? Or why, why we say the things that we say, or how no one understood me. And I'm all about unconditional love. I've been misunderstood so many times. How do you love someone who hurt you? How do you love, right? But that's why we're here. That's why any one of us can change, can become a light worker as soon as you start spreading love and you start giving that, But in order to become that being that we are and bring that here, we can't be looking at this place that we came to fix and looking for justification in the place that we're here to fix, because we're not going to find it here. That's why you have to go inside. You have to connect to your soul. You have to connect to your angels, guides, mother, father, the multiverse, everything, all of it, and realize who you are. That's the whole point of it. To be that person. If we're really here and we want to fix the world and we want to make it a better place, then I can't be crying about, I didn't get an A on my test, or, I can't be, or whatever, somebody was mean to me. Oh no, but that's life. That's from the human. That's what we grow up into in our emotions, and we have to figure out how to do this and how to balance ourselves. There's so much out of balance, in the world, and that's why we're here. So a lot of times, it's tough, to maintain the light in such heavy, whatever, but that's okay. It's okay. It's really important, because that's what the dark, whatever, the controllers, they want. They want us to give up on life. So the starseed story, we go through that, and no one understands you, and we find ourselves like feeling isolated and alienated, and just just not being able to talk to people, and then and then you realize, like, you're looking for that validation, like I was saying, in the world that you came here to fix. And so, are you gonna justify the world that you're living in based off of how it is or how you are? Right? Like, are you here to change it or not? Are you really, are we here to just let life happen to us, right? Nobody wants to do that. When you're involved in your life and you're making moves and you're moving it here and there, that's when it feels sweet. And sure, it could be exhausting, it could be tiresome, it could be, sure, fine, right? But it is anyways, right? How many, if you clock out and you're like, forget it, I'm done, I'm tired of this, I've been trying all the time, well, you're still going to have to, go to work or whatever, make some income, you're still going to have to live, So when you engage in your life in a positive and loving way, and you stop fearing everything, and you realize who you are and what you can do, and what you're here for, and why you're here, and why you think differently, and why people don't understand, you might not get it, it's because they're still looking at the world around them, it's, so yeah, let me look at some things here, let's see, it's like, for me, I've mentioned before, I, brought up Lutheran, and, but then I asked my mom, as far as what's the difference, and so it's really just, there's so much separation in the world, and we got to realize that, what is really happening, though, is we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure out based off of our own current states of consciousness, or our own, what's relative to us and what we've experienced. So we're trying to figure it out that way, right? All roads lead to Rome, whether you're, believing in this religion or that religion. I think the one thing all religions do agree on is that there's kind of like this power, or you don't, and you're atheist, right? And, but we need to be able to talk about stuff like that and share it to each other so that we can grow. Otherwise we won't. It's not about, oh, I don't believe or agree with that, so you're terrible and I don't like you, and, bad. Some of the greatest conversations I've ever had, are with, what is it? Who comes to your doors all the time? I love it when they knock on the door. Like, they're afraid of me. They stop coming to my door, because I'll like, I love it. I love talking to them, but like, get an atheist and a Christian together. Best conversation you'll ever have. There's no reason to hate each other, right? There's no reason. So, and that's, that's kind of the point I was getting at too, is, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, because it is what it is, no matter, like, okay, what am I trying to say? Because it matters what you create, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's not, it doesn't matter what happened, and then that defines you. And that's like what I was saying. Don't let the world around you define who you are. You define the world, So it's not about like, oh, you're this religion, or oh, you're that religion, and like, this is the way it works, and how, because, and I said this earlier, I don't want anybody to believe what I'm saying. I want you to believe yourself. I want you to believe in what you're experiencing and what you know. and when we all do that, we're not worried about being wrong, we're not insecure, we're not worried, but we're trained that way by school, right? Like if you don't get it right, then you're not going to graduate, so you got to be smart, and if I didn't get it right, I'm not smart, so we have to stop allowing the world around us to identify us, because we're already identified in the higher realms. We're already who we are when we come here. It's why we came here as who we are. It's why you came here like you, and you didn't come here like me, So it's our lives, it's our worlds, but it's a collective, it's a group thing, and that's the concept of we're all one, right? What does that mean, right? Everyone says that, we're all one, but obviously not, so okay, well, what is that? What is that? It's the idea that like we're all doing this, we're all doing the same things, but we're all just we're holding up different aspects of it all, so that we can come to the realization that it's all part of the same happening. There's no difference from me and you, in what, like, but what we allow ourselves to think, so when we share, when we communicate, when we learn from each other, we're gonna have way better chance at figuring all this stuff out. So it's not about my religion's right, your religion's wrong, my politics are right, your politics are wrong. It's like, where's the politic of love? Where's that guy? Where's the Democrat, Republican, lovocrat? I'm gonna vote for that guy because he's gonna fix everything. But we all need to get on board, because we're all here as humans. If you take yourself out of the equation, well, then it's not going to equal itself. We all have to contribute, and that's what's happening with what's going on in the world now. So we're realizing that it's our communities that we have to uphold, because you are a part of your community, and if you want to live in a world that's beautiful and love and light, well, then you have to put that out there too. If I'm sitting at home and you're sitting at home across the street, and you walk out and one day and you're just like, look at the media, the news, whatever, the world, this and that. But now if I walked out before you and I was just throwing love all over the street, and then you walk out and you're like, is that love? Oh man, I live in a world of love. What? How did that happen? Why? Because we got over ourselves, we need to get over ourselves, how self-important we all are, and how, but then that's the thing, we are important, so, and this is where it gets confusing, but you have to have, that knowing, that internal knowing, and peace, right? Because with peace and love, there's nobody needs to fight. JC said it to me, he said, I wrote it down, yeah, if we all gave love to every situation, how could we ever go wrong? That's the balance, that's the answer. But it's up to you to do that. But again, like I said, it's a heavy place. There's a lot of beings here. Not all that have your best interests in mind. But are you gonna justify them in why your life is all blah blah, why life isn't what you want, or are we here to change it? Are we here to make it different? Are we here to say no, no more oppression, no more suffering, right? No more, no pain, no gain. No, I want all the pain, or all, wait, see, now I'm saying it wrong. I want all the gain and I want no pain. Like, anybody? Right? And that's the star seed thing. There's 90% of the people are like, oh yeah, no pain, no gain. I know what that means. Yeah, it makes sense. And then there's like the few, 10%. Well, I'd like to think it's 10% of us, who are just like, I don't think that sounded right. Like, I don't think, wait, can I ask a question, please? But we can't, we can't. So, so there's, and that's like looking at it futility, where you can't affect the world. And that the world around you is just, you're just powerless, and that's not the case. But that's what they want, I was talking about the dark ones, earlier in the video. It's so silly to me that they want to control and manipulate so much, because they're trapped in that exact control that they need from us. It's like they're trying to control us all the time, and they're trapped, they're stuck, they can't even go anywhere without us. right? So realize your own power, right? We only realize how powerful we are and how much they need us. It's not them who's in power, it's us who's in power. But we need to love each other. We need to share with each other. We need to know that we're safe and that we're being taken care of, right? By who? By each other. And that's the paying it forward, you know? If we want to live in a world of love, you got to give some, you know? We all do. We all got to give some, you know? And I've said that before. If you're having a bad day and you really just need, you know, downtime, you don't want to do anything, and you know you need somebody to take care of you, you know, who's going to take care of you if no one's putting out love, you know? And you know, and in the beginning it can be tough because, you know, not everybody is. So you put it out there and maybe it doesn't necessarily, you know, you're not getting what you think you want back, or you might, but when you realize that you're an unending source of it inside of yourself, and that's where it comes from, you know, because when you give love, it doesn't come from somewhere outside of yourself. It comes from in here, you know. You know, because I could sit here, feel whatever, just neutral, right? And then out of the corner of my eye, I see a puppy, right? Right? Where did the come from? It didn't come from the puppy. You know what I mean? You know, otherwise I would have been like, bam, right in my head. You know, it comes from within us. And when we realize how powerful we are to decide what we want to feel and how we want to live our lives and how we're going to change this place, it's easy. It's easy and it's a no-brainer. You know, John Lennon was completely right. All you need is love. And because that's the balance to everything. And like JC said, if you gave love to every situation, how could you go wrong? So let's see. Yeah, so, you know, there's a lot of people figuring things out, you know, and trying to, like I said, and that's really good because we have to figure it out, you know. But if we can't share with each other without demonizing each other, without calling each other like a terrible person, we're not going to make the progress that we really need. Okay, so let me see. I got Archangel Michael. Let me see what he has to say. The power that you all seek, you will find when you remove yourself from those other things that wish to take your power, right? What he means by this is your attention. This is the world that we're changing into. Is your attention is key. And when attention, which is now being given more towards the truth and conspiracy realms, you know, areas, this is what's going to bring us all together and unify, and it's going to make people, and the happenings that it's going to make, he's saying like heart, it's going to expand our hearts because we're going to care for each other. And this is with the fires and everything that's going on, or, you know, all these global things that keep happening. You know, it's the dark is, I like that. The dark is shooting itself in its own, is shooting its own foot, because it keeps putting out fear, and the effect that it wants humanity to stay low vibrational and be scared, but humanity is seeing the fear and it's coming together. You know, it's backfiring for the dark ones. They don't, you know, they're figuring that out now, but all their control is, we're getting tired of the oppression. You know, when I see, you know, fear or something, I see like a school, you know, happening, you know, and somebody got hurt in the school, you know, my heart goes out to them. You know, I don't live in fear. I you know, and I think sometimes, you know, we can, but when your heart expands, you know, and I think that's what's happening. It's like the fires, you know, in Australia with the animals, like how many animals were saved, how many people came together, you know, so it's really backfiring for them. Okay, wait, Michael, let's see what else is it. I kind of kept going on that one. So when you all find that, this one reference, that soul, that being that you want to be, that you're here to create and to manifest in this life, in this world, to the greatest of your ability, that's all you need to do. That's all you'll end up focusing on. That's all that's going to end up being important to you. There are many humans in the world who just want love. We all just want love. Why are we not able to do it when at least, when honestly 100% of us want it. Even a dark one wants love in the form of his, of ownership over people or whatever. But it's all a form and an aspect of love. And once we all circle and come back to love and the unity, everything is gonna work out. It like JC said, when you add love to the equation, it overrides everything. And I've said this before too. This one, where like if you hurt yourself, if you make a mistake, if all the worst tragic things you could think of in the world, like, oh my gosh, how could I be wrong? Oh, I did that wrong. Oh, I totally blew it. Oh my gosh, what happened? As soon as whoever you're worried about is going to be worried that you blew it, it's, in this case, as soon as they look at you and go, don't worry about it, it's all gone. It's all gone. But look at all that worry that we create because we think it's because of how we're brought up. We have to take ourselves out of the programming. Like I said with school, you go to school, you get it right, you get it wrong. Well, now your self-esteem is getting affected, like, oh, you're smart, oh, you're not, right? Or then you get the rebel kids, right? And then they don't care about nothing and they'll get all the bad grades. They're not bad people, right? Like, they just, they don't care for the school system. That doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean that they're, not a good citizen or not a valuable person. Like, are you kidding me? Who's saying these things to people and who's believing them? And listen, I grew up with, not savory words, in my household. So, and that's okay. But, but you have to, it's tough when you have to come out of that, especially as kids, when you're trying to figure things out, right? And that's why the answer, it's always going back inside. You don't need to learn what someone else is teaching you. As kids, we learn from our parents, from our elders, but the point of it is to learn for yourself, to take in the information and then define yourself, and do the best you can at, in whatever aspect of your life, whether you're getting your education, wherever you want to go, just be love, and everything will be okay. I can't say it. We can't say that enough. I know. That's why a lot of this is, some of it's really repetitive. But we need, because, again, the answer is love. All roads lead to Rome. There's a lot of roads. There's a lot of individual human beings, right? But once we start seeing the connections in our lives and how we're living the same kind of lives, because we wake up, go into the bathroom, shower, whatever, get ready, we go about our days, it's like, it's all the same thing. It's just, we have to bring it all into unity. So that's why we're all spread out and we're experiencing the different things we have, so that we can realize the similarities of them. It doesn't matter if I'm upset, I was born into privilege, let's say, and money's never been an issue, and I'm upset, I just thought it was really funny. There's a pop punk song that I saw once, and it was like a parody, and they were joking. It was called First World Problems, I think, and it was really funny. The video was cool too. His Netflix, like, his mom canceled his didn't pay his Netflix account, so he was all frustrated, and then it was all these first world problems, and but then you realize, you're, that feeling that you have, you're worried, oh my gosh, my life isn't working, I can't watch Netflix, but then you have someone in, let's say, a third world country who's, my life's not working, I can't get water, my life's not working. Now, it's not about who's more, worthy of it's not about who's the bad person, who's the good person. Oh, you live in a first world country, so you should be giving them all your water. You should be, no, but yeah, that's the balance. Once we start spreading it and sharing it freely and lovingly, yeah, that'll happen, and that's what's going to happen. But the feeling, as that person and then someone else, the feeling is exactly the same. It doesn't matter why it's there, right? And this is the aspect of, we have to get out of our heads, get over your persona, get over because whether it's like, I mean, whether you can't watch Netflix, okay, you got to get over it. How do you want to feel? You want to be feeling bad the whole rest of the day or what? Person can't get water. Hey, listen, maybe they can't, right? They really need it. Way more than you need your Netflix, right? But what can you do? What can you, if you can't get it, are you going to choose to allow the world around you to define how you feel? Or are you going to define it for yourself? This is all about self-empowerment. Yes, Archangel Michael, love you. Gosh, this guy just fires me up. And when we do that, we're all going to love each other and we're going to come together because we're going to believe in ourselves and we're going to be empowered to help somebody else. I'm going to want to help you. That's why I'm here, I want to explain all this stuff. I've seen my whole life just, it's like, what's a good example? It's like school, right? For a lot of people. I'm in America, so American school. But there's cliques, right? And it's like, no matter what graduating class, what year you were there, no matter, what, it's all kind of like the same cliques, right? It's all, but for some reason, it's like this one's better, this one's not, this one, and once we start seeing the similarities and how we're all doing the exact same stuff, yeah, I mean, that's the unity, and that's what we're really coming into, but the fear and the giving up on the world, you can't let that can't let that affect you, as much as you want, or justify it, because I know people who have been at odds with each other for over 15 years, and when I talk to the one, it's the same thing every single discussion, so what I said to them, I said, how long do you want to justify how wrong it was? How long do you want to sit there and do that? How long do you want to live in that? How long are you going to sit there and ask for an apology from someone who did wrong to you? You like thinking that they're gonna apologize, right? Or that they even know to apologize. That take your power back. Stop giving it to them. You just notice how it's with them. It's not with you. And then when you love yourself and you protect yourself, it doesn't matter who's around you. It's you, because you protect yourself. And if somebody says something bad, you leave, and you don't involve yourself in what they think about you, because it doesn't matter what they think about you. If everything everyone thought about you mattered, you wouldn't be you. You'd be like, you'd have your arm come out of your head. You'd be like some other creature. You know what I mean? Like, it's like how many times we've had a boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever, that just, didn't see you in a good way, or just some guy who didn't like you, a rival or someone who's, I don't know, it's like, so it's all about empowerment. And I think what we run into a lot of times, is, it's like, we want to, what was I going to say? I totally lost it right there. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna breathe. I think my water, where's my water? Dang it, I don't think it's here. Okay, it's all about empowerment, right? So that's what I wanted to say. Sorry, totally dropped it. What does it say? Hey, Gene. Same wavelength. Oh, cool. Good, cool. I'm glad it's, at least fun for you. I'm learning how to make these entertaining / informative / nobody knows what the heck I'm talking about / So this is a lot of fun for me too. I appreciate, any one of you who come on, and thanks for coming. But what was I saying? It came back, and then I read you, and I wanted, that we're all trying to make the same. Oh man, now it's right on the tip of my tongue, and it's not coming back. Okay, come on, guys. Oh, it's not gonna come. I think we're okay. It's probably because I already talked about it like 19 times already. I probably said it in how many different ways. Let's see what I got on my notes. Yeah, I think that might be it for the day, actually. I wanted to do like a good hour, but I blab pretty fast, I guess. I do talk a lot, so I think it all comes out. Yeah, I don't know. Um, it's all love. It's all love. Yikes, that was loud. What do I want to say? Oh, there's so many more things. I swear. I had like 18 new things come in today just when I was in the shower earlier. And then it always just kind of goes out. That's why I try to write them down. But let's see. Let's see if Michael's got anything else. Okay, the separation that you all think exists only exists because you think it exists. This is the power that is coming back to people, that you are the creator of your own life. So if you think you can't do, that's the same. If you say you can, you do something, you're right. If you say you can't, you're right again. I don't think I quoted that right, but like, hey Bridget, blessings to you. Yeah, I guess that's sort of, it's definitely not it. I think I'm gonna, this is why I wanted to get my my mobile able to kind of like a mobile stream thing going so that I can just impromptu when these things come to me, because they always come to me when I'm at work or when I'm in the shower or when I'm driving my car. So I'm just gonna try and do that. And then maybe lives, I guess we'll change lives into, I don't know, it'll all develop, we'll see. How about JC? JC, you got anything? We have the same retention as well. We are in the moment. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Like, that's why I realized I start writing notes. And even when I connect with any other beings, it's like it still comes in what they want to say, and it's great, and then, but there's always so much more, that we can extrapolate, and there's always so much more, and then it comes, full circle, and then it's like, well, it's all love. That's, at the end of the day, that's all we need, and that's all we need to do. And so then I feel like I'm talking too much. It's such an interesting thing, but this experience, like it's and Zadkiel said that to me once. He said, it's up to you. He said, everyone looks at the world and we're worried about, this and that, what's happening over there, how do we fix that, there's good, there's bad, you can live a life of crime and drugs and whatever, or you can live a life of, peace and bliss and meditating and whatever. It's here for you. It's for you. This is our world. It's our light. We can choose to live it however you want to live it. And that doesn't mean that you can't allow others to live it the same. So if you're going to be at odds, then you're going to be at odds. But it's not about, it's about, there's no point in being at odds. There's so much blame in the world. It's such a, there's so much, it's so hard to come away from it. It's so hard to just like go around and tell people like, hey, listen, the only answer is love. Well, what about my thing? Well, just love it. You're gonna be good. Trust me. It's there's so much to explain. From the human aspect that we get stuck into, and then it's like we just gotta take ourselves out of our lives, out of our humans, realize who we are, what we're here to do, and realize, the gift that life really is. I think a lot of things that happen, so we all get trapped in desires. People want to, and even for light workers, we get to, for me, like, I mean, when I was a kid, my desire, it was, cute girlfriend or whatever, growing up, and like there's whatever as a kid. And then, as a light worker, as a spiritual being, it's always been the love, that I want to bring here. My desire is to live in a world where we can all love each other and we can have fun and we can all do this, man, like live life and thrive and enjoy it and laugh and even cry and get upset and then go find, comfort in your friend who understands how you feel. It's like, that's the world that I want to live in, right? So what happens to anyone, no matter if you're a human and you just want more money, or you're stuck on your job, or you just want better this, or you're, oppressed in this way, or even a light worker who just wants a world, our desires, we can't let the desire, override, like, our energetic, state, like, you know what I mean? Knowing that you are the love and that you're here to bring the love. That's a powerful thing, because when you do that and you stand in it in your mind, you have to know that at all times, so that when you have a desire and it doesn't work out, you know that it wasn't supposed to. And Spirit said it's not supposed to. It's not the right time. It's not. So there's so much desire and want that comes from people, when we're growing up, and because we're unlimited beings coming into a limited, place. So we want it, and that's why every kid is just everywhere, well, as much as they can. They want to play with everything, even if they're shy, introverted, maybe, quieter kid. They're still curious about everything. They want to experience all of it. They're a lot more discerning, than I was. I'm the jump in the pool in the deep end first, figure out how to swim, person. So I did that when I was a kid. It's a funny story. My mom always laughs because she tells me we were at our neighbors and they had an in-ground pool. And when I was in my diaper, I was walking around the edge of the pool, and she looked at me. She's like, "Don't you jump in there!" And then I looked there and I went, or something like laugh, and then I just splashed right into it. And she dove in. She picked me up, and I just had this smile on my face. I was sort of like, I loved it. But there's, no matter how you're looking at that, that's what we're here for. We're here for each other to, to show the introverted person that you can wear your heart on your sleeve, and it's okay, because someone like me who does this wants it to be okay too, for me and so for you. And there's a lot of that, but there's a lot of human, like, okay, who's this? I think Jason, that's Michael, one of them. I think it's both. They're both here. I think they're both just pelting me right now. The idea, and I've talked about this, he's given me the idea, like I've talked about this with them, the idea of service to self and service to others, right? That's a separation mentality. Don't think of it in separation at all. Service to self, service to others. The truth of that, and it's like many people are saying now, is when you help yourself, you help everyone else, right? When you're living in your love and your light and you're able to give love, you throw love all over that street. And then that guy who's having a bad day can't find it nowhere. He walks out, hey, maybe he did find a little love out in the world, right? But what did it do? It lit him up inside. So it reminded him that there is love, and that even if it's, no matter where it comes from, we have to, what did you say? You said stay in the heart. Yeah, exactly. No matter what's around us, stay in the eye of the storm. Yep, the tornado, right? Exactly. And that's not always easy. That's tough. It's, that, and that's, just sometimes what needs to be said, like it's, it's okay, right? But, that idea that we come from these unlimited beings, and then we come here into this limited world, it can be tough. It's frustrating, and that's what happens to a lot of people. And so we get futile. We get bitter. We get old and grumpy and whatever you want to call it, and I call it, that's the old man syndrome. I think I read something on that, where they've been there, they've done that, they know everything, can't tell them anything, they already know the answer, but they're, sitting there drinking beer, watching the game every day after work. They're still living paycheck to paycheck, whatever it is. But, having mentalities like that, like futile or bitter, and I'm going to lash out at the world for being how the world is, it's like, don't worry about how the world is. Worry about how you are. Worry about how, you act when the world hits you. Worry about, I don't want to engage in this, and I'm not gonna, but that's hard, right? And so takes time, because again, we all grow up in school, right? Like I said earlier, you're right or wrong, you got a good grade or a bad grade, now you feel like you're a smart person or you're a dumb person, right? Like there's a lot of that, and not just school, but it's everywhere. And so once we start taking ourselves out of what is going on around us all the time, and we focus on what we want to do and create inside, how we want to feel, that's when this world's going to change, because we're all going to want to feel the exact same way. We're all going to want the exact same stuff. Like, raise your hand if you want to have unlimited, income or something. And again, now if we all had that, we wouldn't need it, you know. Like, I mean, so I'm not trying to get into the details, but you know, raise your hand if you wouldn't want unconditional love all the time, no matter what you did. You know, well, you have to give that to yourself, right? But then if you can give that to yourself, then that means that you know how to give it to someone else. So that's how we change the world around us. You got to do it to you first. You know, and so okay, so they're okay. It's not touching back, service to self, service to others. You know, it's all in the vocabulary too. So you have to look at how you think about things. You know, so service to self, service to others. Okay, if you take the idea of like service to others, right? You know, or being of service. You know, I would joke a lot in my meditations. You know, because I would always tell spirit like that's not a good word to use. Like I don't know why you guys pick the word service, but you know, it really feels like humanity's been at service, you know, for a really long time. You know, I was like service to others, that's all we've been doing, you know. It's like, you know, so you know, gosh, you know, God forbid I want to, you know, like I don't want to go to work today and I want to serve myself. Now I'm being selfish and the whole system, you know. It's like, no, like that's so bad to make people feel that way and to think that way, you know. So but the point being, you know, look at the words that you're using and look at the definition that it means and figure out why does it have that definition. It's because of how you were taught, brought up the word, you know, the word is. Service to others is great, you know. So is service to yourself. Yeah. But not greedy, selfish, you know, manipulative, you know, stealing energy from others. You know what I mean? That, you know. That has nothing to do with serving yourself. I serve myself every day. I eat food, you know. I serve myself every day. I go to bed and I restore my energy, you know. It's so there's, you know, it's everything in the human realms, you know, that needs to be restored to its truth and to the light that it is. And the only way you're going to do that, you know, is the inside, is your heart, the connection, the way it feels, because energy is everything. Everything is energy, you know. And so once we start, you know, instead of, you know, like a love relationship, you're dating or you want to meet someone and then you're chalking them up to all these things, right, that you think are things that are good, you know, which I'm sure they probably are, right? Well, whatever, you know. But are you, through all of that stuff, are you really feeling the vibration, right? So you can have the perfect person, you guys could meet, you could be checking all the boxes, man, you know, like you know, tall, dark skin, hair, you know, handsome, you know, or you know, thin waist, you know, nice hips, and you know, beautiful face, and you know, oh my gosh, and then like, so you're checking all the boxes, good personality, positivity, right? And everything is good, and you guys get along, you're compatible, but something in here is like, I still don't know, right? That's what we all need to start using again, and that's what's coming, because that's our soul signal, you know, that's our human signal from the soul, whatever. That's our reception of what we're being told, that is beyond just what's in front of us or beyond what you think in your mind, you know. So service to self, service to others, you know. If I walk around and I look at someone and I say, oh, they're serving someone else, that's a good person, you know. And then if I go say they're not serving someone else, that's could be better, you know. It's like that's not the point, you know. That's not, you know, none of that, you know. It's you just created a judgment about it that didn't even need to be there, you know. You know, and that's why I say, so, you know, for me, it's been, my whole life has just been, I see the patterns, I feel the energies, I understand what's going on beyond like what anyone is even seeing, you know, or even recognizing or acknowledging, you know. And can't communicate with anybody because they don't even know what I'm talking about. They don't even know what's happening to them, you know. But so that's the whole thing. It's self-empowerment, learning yourself, you know, not learning what everyone else is doing, you know, knowing yourself. And, you know, so like for me, you know, growing up, I did, I got into junior high, and that was the merger, right? Because kindergarten through elementary school, grammar school, that's just like the one local kids, and you all kind of live by each other anyways. You all know each other, parents kind of know each other, and then junior high, boom, and as soon as I saw all the merger, I can remember sitting there, waiting for the bell to ring to go. Everyone around me was just like trying to impress people, or trying to, it was like people I knew in school, like totally different people now, and it always blew my mind that, like, are people noticing that they're doing this? Are people, and do they see, and so for a lot of people, we're not. A lot of people are living based off of what life tells them to do, or what their feeling tells them to do, instead of deciding what feeling they want to feel and doing that. And this is an example, in my early relationships with, I'm a heterosexual male, so with girls, and so what I would see with them, I was raised by a single mother too, right? So I've had plenty of this experience, and it's that idea, like, they get emotional, right? Every certain period of time, during a certain period, right? And when the moon, okay, and you get emotional, right? And now I've met different people, right? And a lot of people, or women, say, I can't help it. This is how I feel. This is what's happening. So so this is what I have to do. And it's important to go with the flow, stay with your body, you know what I mean? So that's good that you guys, women, are so aligned. I can't even begin to compare, guys, anyways, women, beautiful, mother, everything, the whole world, but then they lose control, or at that time, and it's not like you lose control, but it's that world, it's that societal justification, like, it's okay for me to be a total B word because I'm emotional. It's like, well, I mean, hey, we all get emotional no matter what time of the year, time of the month it is, no, that doesn't give anybody the right to, like, be mean to other people. So it's, so are you doing things that are gonna make it better for yourself? Are you choosing, or are you just letting life affect you all the time? And are you living, with a girlfriend I had, it was, hey, what do you want to do? I don't know. I don't ever want to, I don't ever have any ideas to do. Anytime and it's like, and it's just like, well, find something you love and do it. Like, pick something, and then and then it goes beyond that, because I would tell her all the time, it doesn't matter what we do, as long as we're here and we're loving, we can go anywhere, we can do anything, but a lot of times what would happen with that person was, they were dealing with what was internal inside of them already, and then how the world was hitting them, and then it was making the connections in their brain already in the programming, and then it was defining. So it's the world that's defining, like, it's subconscious, unconscious programs that we learn, like service, when you hear the word, what do you think about? Or service to self, service to others, oh, don't serve yourself, that's selfish, don't, you should always be serving other people. Unless you're exhausted and you're drained, then that's not good either, because now you're even giving them energy that you really don't have. You're kind of putting that on there. But it's this, it's all about responsibility. Archangel Michael, empowerment, responsibility, and it's not responsibility in a fearful way. It's a wonderful experience when you are your light and you become responsible for it, and then you realize who you are. That's the most wonderful, knowing that you could, as from the human, that you can reach, and so even guys, guys get that too, the mansies, I think they call it the mansies, but usually it's testosterone filled, and then guys get angry, and then, whatever, and then, we knock each other out, and then we go get a beer afterwards, whatever. It's like, and that's the thing, you get it out, right? So you have to start looking at that, and then you realize, are you letting, are you going to change that? Are you going to change that? How much do you want to live in a world that you have no power over? How much do you want to keep just letting it happen the way that it is, the way that it is. You know, that's what they want, the controllers. They want us to give up on life. They want us to see it as a fearful, scary place. You know, they want that. They want us to come home and drink, you know, sit and drink beer all day, whatever. And listen, if that's what you love to do, go for it. Dionysus, right? Greek god of wine, no problem, whatever, right? You know, but that's the point is, it's your life. Do what you want. Are you being loved, right? Now, you know, in those situations, you know, drugs, things like this, you know, they're different vibrations that you're putting inside your body, so you're not going to be in the control, you know. So, you know, there's a lot to talk about there, but you know, it's you know, it's doing what you want. It's realizing, you know, how do you want to feel, right? And instead of like needing to go places, the wants, the desires, you know, like, oh, I always want this, I always want that. It was like, okay, well, why do you really want it? You got to ask yourself, why do you really want it? Is it because you think that everything's going to be just perfect once you get it, you know? And that happens with all of us. It's the same thing with children. When they get a toy and they play with it for a week and then they don't play with it ever again, you know? But they needed it. They needed it so bad that, you know, their whole world it was all just gonna collapse, you know, and then they cry, and you tell them no, they can't get it, you know, and they throw a fit to the end of the world. You know, what are we doing? I think one of the funniest quotes, this is a good quote, was Joe Rogan said, do you remember when we were kids and we all thought there was this thing known as adults, right? And then you grow up and you become an adult, and then you realize it's just a bunch of kids and grown-up kids, and nobody knows what the hell we're doing. You know, like, it's really funny, but you know, so it's you know, just because you got kids doesn't make you a father now. That's a quote Sinbad. That was Sinbad stand up. I got a lot of comedians rolling up in here. I can quote them all. You know, and yeah, I mean, it's empowerment, guys. It's all about, you know, how do you want to feel? You know, it is what it is. We live where we live, you know. Yeah, you got to be there, you know. You gotta deal with it, whatever, right? What do you want to do about it, though? You know, and then you say, well, what can I do? One person can't change the world. Well, listen, you can change the world, because you can change your world right now where you're at, right? You know, and I mean, we think of it as we want to do magic and magic spells, and we want to, like, I just want to go, and then I have, you know, whatever new thing I wanted, you know, and stuff like that. And the reality behind that, you know, why we want that, we come from unlimited and we come into limited, is because it's true. We can do that, right? But we have limited access. We're not fully, right? Look at if a kid was able to just manifest every thought that he had or everything he wanted immediately, you know, wouldn't work. You know, I've said that before. The world would have been blown up a long time ago. There'd be creatures and monsters that we've never even seen before. There'd be dinosaurs that'd still be here. You know, who knows? So it's, you know, the school of life. We're here to learn. We're here to practice, you know. So yeah, you know, it is what it is. And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to feel about it? I think we should change that. And it's not necessarily what are you going to do about it. It's what are you going to feel about that. If something's coming at you or something you don't like, how do you want to, do you not want to just feel that just pit in your stomach, something you don't like, or, you know, or just move on. Let it be. Realize it doesn't have any impact on you, even though it's in the world, right? It doesn't have to be a part of your world. And it's tough because, you know, we always come back to, like, I really like getting into the nitty gritty of things, like really the details. So I often talk about, you know, children who are born who are taken, you know, things like this, you know, that's out there. You know, there's a lot of people who are really going through really tough times, and there's a lot of suffering. You know, and you know, what can they do? You know, and honestly, same thing as all of us. You know, it's not about justifying the depth or the intensity of the pain, you know, or whatever. It's about, you know, finding the love in every single chance that you possibly can, in every single way that you possibly can. And if there's any lesson I think most humans have kind of run into at one point, is that, you know, if you know, the outside world ain't going to give it to you, right? You know, or, you know, and I mean, can, But you can't look at your situation, your surroundings, and just say, like life is over and you can't give up, because you came here, you came into that situation for a reason, because you're a master, you're powerful, you're meant to be there, and but you got to find that, in yourself, and it can be tough, what's the justification for people who are really suffering, I mean, do you need the justification? I mean, the justification is it's their path, it's their spiritual growth, it's their life. The justification is the fact that we're here to show it to people. It's like we said earlier with the dark ones, when they're showing all this fear and all this destruction, all this pain, and all these people that are going through. It's going to backfire, because it's going to make us care about each other more. It's going to make us all, start defending ourselves and start standing up for what's right. That's why we all got to start doing it, because we all feel this way for people who are suffering. I think at least 90%, I don't know how many completely soulless, careless beings are actually here, but 90% of humanity cares. We care, even if you just care about your life. Take care of your life, and then people around you are gonna, because you're gonna take care of your stuff. You're not gonna be throwing dirt all over everything else. That's why we're coming together. We all have to come together, and love each other again. It doesn't mean, giving allowance, like it's like darkness. You gotta love the darkness too. You don't have to. It's like I said earlier. They're shooting themselves in the foot. I feel bad for them. They don't see how what they're doing ain't working. It's worked for a while, yeah, sure, but it's not sustainable. So yeah, I mean, but then that's the, yin and yang. You are the balance. It's not about light or dark, right? It's about you in the center, right? And then you can choose to do what you want to create. It's just unfortunate that we, allow, or we live in a world where there's been so much manipulation for so long. But like I said, the manipulation, they need us. They need us more than we need them. That's for sure. And that's what's happening now. So whoever you resonate with, wherever you find your information of love, we all got to just start looking for it. Start finding the love everywhere you possibly can, because no matter how painful it is, you still want to be feeling the pain, or do you want to feel the love? It's hard to, say to some people, it's hard to get them to understand that, because they're in so much suffering, and when you're there, you can't see the way out. It's tough. But there's always a way out, and that's when we come together. We got to come together, But again, what do you want to feel? You can choose the pain, or you can choose the love. But don't look for it and then everywhere I look I don't find it. No, you know where it is, and you know what love is. You know what love is. That's it. Stop. Don't think anymore. That's where we get trapped. That's what all the separation is, Oh, love is like this. It's not like that. Love is, it's all love. It's all love. Because it's all here. It's all being allowed to be created and exist, it's like parents who have an unruly child or something, right? Like, he's just been a troublemaker his whole life. Do you still love him? Of course you do. What do you think Father, Mother, God, Creator, whatever you want to call it, Source, Infinite, whatever, how do you think they feel? Feel the same way, But do they like it when they see their child doing wrong and hurting other people? No, they don't. And then what does a parent do? You try to tell them, you try to put them on, you try to teach them, you try to explain to them what they're doing. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, And that's why, it's important to realize where we're at and what we're doing. This place is a school of learning. That's why we can't instantly manifest, because there's all kinds of light, dark, and everything in between here. So this is a place where we get to learn and we get to play with what we think we want and what we think we want to create, and then we get to experience it firsthand and see how it feels. You know, yeah. So create love, be more love, find the love, right? Got to. I saw you guys say some stuff there. Yeah, the calm. Yeah, exactly. It's choosing to go in the direction you want to go in and not justifying the pain. We can justify the pain. That's not hard. We got more examples of that down here than a lot of other stuff, you know, so, or plenty. I don't want to say more or less because I'm sure it'd have to be balanced. Otherwise, we'd be off. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't balanced. So yeah. So what was it? Everyone cares, even if it's for themselves. They are loved. Exactly. And that's going to be a unifying factor too. You know, even if you're, you know, Mr. Selfish or self-centered person, you know, if you care about yourself, you know, and you take care of yourself, and you know, it's one thing to be self-centered. It's another thing to be like, you know, mean to other people. You know what I mean? Like if, you know, yeah, sure, maybe you don't notice other people, you lack a little bit of maybe consideration or something and some awareness that you don't have, you know, but if you're being love, you know what I mean? Then you're okay, because whatever the other person needs from you, we'll see, now they're just putting their need onto you, which that's not your responsibility. You know what I mean? So it's, if we're being love, it doesn't matter, you know, what, you know, whether you're, I think I wrote down too, you know, like with the religions or with the politics or even with ethics, you know, it's like there's all the, like in my business ethics class, you know, utilitarianism, you know, and then versus egalitarianism, and what are all the other ones? And it's just like, these are all just words to describe something that already exists. They're all just labels and stuff that we're putting on, you know, and just creating more and more like separation, you know, more and more, you know, further and further and further. And it's not that it's bad, because we need to use the words. It helps us communicate, right? But then once you get in the higher realms, you know, communication's instant. It's telepathic. It's through pictures and inner. It's your inner senses, you know. So it's a very different thing, you know, but that's why the desire, that's where the frustration comes from, is because we know who we are inside, and we're trying to do it outside, right? And so we're leaving our inside to do it out here, you know, and we gotta come back. You gotta come back in, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's an amazing experience being here on Earth. Good, bad, and everything in between. Oh man. Everyone cares. Yeah. So hard to explain. Easier just to be and show. Yeah, exactly. You know, and I'm a blabber. I love talking about this stuff. I will explain it, but it's harder, you know, doing it like videos. It's easier when you're just talking with people. You know, like I've met countless people in my life that I blow their minds, like just in the sense of like, just have a one-on-one with me, you know, like let's just hang out one day, and then like, and if I get into it and I get deep and they start asking questions, then it's like I know the answers to explain it to them. Like I get where they're coming from, you know, like I can see how they feel, you know, and then I can explain things to them, and they're just like, you know, and that's how we all grow, when we just start sharing it. We just start, you know, being it and talking about it. And if you talk about it and someone doesn't want to know, then okay, they don't want to know, you know, then just move on, find more, you know, love. And so and that's the key. If we focus and keep the love, that's what people are going to see, right? Like you say, just be it, right? If, you know, it doesn't matter what we're talking about, and it will for a lot of people, but what are you saying about it? How are you saying it? You know, it doesn't, you know, all the, you know, I don't know, it does, you know, it's like religions. There's so many different ones. I mean, I think there's a fundamental layer that, you know, I think they're all trying to talk about and is good and is there, you know, but what are we doing? You know, like Mother Mary wasn't real, Jesus isn't real, no, he was real, no, she was real, there's 12 archangels, there's 7 archangels, there's freaking gazillions of archangels. It's like, it's like we're just limiting it all, but as long as we move forward knowing that we're gaining information and we're building, and we can't, that's the problem I think in the world. We live in that black and white, the poor man mentality. Oh, life is this way, this is how it is because that's what I've been shown. Well, okay, but that's what you've been shown, right? Okay, so now where are we gonna go? So that's why they say use it. Learn from your experiences. Learn from anything good, bad, or the other. Your emotions, the pain, the stuff. It's all here to teach you that you don't want to be back here still. You don't want to be, why do you feel bitter, grumpy, blah, 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 blah. You don't want to be that way. Nobody wants to be that way. But until you realize it's you doing it to yourself, we're all going to be blaming everybody else, right? Self-responsibility. So, and empowerment. And it's a big jump, but there's a lot of stuff out there now, and there's just more and more of it. It's just gonna keep coming, So yeah, we'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Just do your best to maintain your love and your light, right? I make that comparison to us as parents, comparing that to how our Creator feels about us. Yeah, exactly. And that's the connection. That's the unification, the oneness of everything. How we are them, they are us. It's all the same thing, it's all, but the beauty is we're able to embody in an individualized sort of way, and what does that mean? Well, that means that I get to experience in a very visceral way. It doesn't mean that I get to experience something that you don't get to experience, because we're all doing the same stuff at different times, a different place, but that's the beauty, is we get to feel that. It's the idea of the oneness. It's like, if we had one creator and he was here on the earth, so let's say we had 5 just so they can interact, we had 5 of them. No, it doesn't matter, what level creator or being or powerful being or who's self-important, or if you're worthy or if you're not worthy, or you know what I mean, like, who's judging you? They're all just here to experience, and they're all going to feel all that stuff that we all feel, right? So all the individualization is great, because this just means more and more and more and more of us with chances to feel love and to create love in a unique way. And that's what this creation, stuff's all about. What's the meaning of life? To live it. That's it. It's as simple as that. Why are we here? Well, because we wanted to be here. If you roll it back up and go all the way up to the very first person creation, which again, this is just based on this theory, which I'm not saying I hold on to, but I'm saying if you roll it all the way back up, right, and you say, well, who created God? Well, then who created that God? Well, then who created that God? Well, then who created that God? Well, somebody at some point had to start somewhere, right? So if you're God, whatever, and you're just sitting there and you got nothing around you and you're just floating around in space, what are you going to do? And you know everything. You don't need to, what are you going to do? You're going to start tinkering. You're going to start doing stuff. You're going to, why not? Why do it? Why don't know? Why would you do that? Why not do that? From his perspective, to his, I'm a guy, I say his, and so he created reflections of himself, so that he could play. What's the meaning of life? To experience it, to play with each other, and so what's the point of that? I don't even know. And that's the individualization, right? So it's not about, it's about how much we're the same. It's not, I think you guys know what I'm saying. It's like, you roll it up, we're all one. It doesn't matter if I'm having this experience, you're having that experience. So's the creator. He's feeling it through us. He's feeling, it's just wild. There's so many things. And yeah, I guess that kind of sums it up. It's been an hour. Oh gosh, it's been 1:13. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I feel like I'm just gonna keep talking about the same stuff here. So that pretty much wraps it up for this video content. And yeah, we'll see. I'll see you guys next time. Try to do this every Sunday, which would be cool, because then it helps me just kind of, it gets me like attraction, you know, it gets me like knowing that I've talked about something, and then it's kind of nice, so I can put this together, and hopefully it'll really help, and that's what I'm working on now, is some kind of you know, outline of something where I can just, you know, like get us all empowered again, you know, get us back into who you are, and to who we all are, and why we're all here, you know, and the love that we all want, you know. I mean, man, it's so simple. It's so simple. So simple. Stop complicating it, right? That's it. Just go out and smile. You know, Buddha said to his disciples, his disciple asked him, he said, "You've given us so much. What can we do for you?" And he said, "Just give me your smiles." You know, that's it. That's it. It's as simple as that. So, you know, yeah. All right, guys. See you next time. Yes, thank you. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I love talking about this stuff. So it's really nice to connect in this way. So much love, much light, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Namaste. And let's see if I can figure out how to turn it off. Oh, no. I got to hit it again.